And we are live. Hello and welcome to Star Trek Livingstone. Oh my goodness, it is exciting. Livingstone. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Some represent.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, a partial rebrand.
The chat is blowing up. Hello, everybody. Hello, Captain Quinn. Hello, Tsinch. Hello, Mad Turnips. Don't know who that bloke is. Hello, Jaunty Goblin is with us tonight. And Ben Kerno. Ben, yeah, fantastic. Lovely to see and anyone else who I might have missed, because it is going really swiftly through the chat. Mind you, I've linked all the chats now, which is great. Yeah. I'm learning how to do tech.
Make-a-plier.
A what?
Caxipus. I was just the other users that are in chat: Shypuff, Make-a-plier, and Caxis.
Well, welcome, one and all. You can sit in the back and lurk and watch, or you can join in the chat. Whatever floats your boat. We are happy to have you with us. And with us, of course, as ever, we have... Do you realise I've forgotten to update? You're still Commander Eelin Wraal on our OBS.
And I went
that's not good, is it?
My other pip on as well.
Demotion.
Instant demotion. Yeah, no, I have updated it. Oh, and I've got a thing saying acting captain. That's not good at all.
There's a lot of acting.
Right. There we go. Ed, Captain Eelin Wraal. Captain. Oh, my captain. No, try that again.
Captain, my captain.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. And our Chief Medical Officer, of course, Lieutenant Commander. I got that one right. Bosh, who is not the first officer.
No, not the first officer. Was very close to calling Mr. Wraal Captain Tight Pants.
How would you know? We're all on Zoom.
Ed has a special OnlyFans second camera that's below the desk.
Oh, is that what the Eelin Wraal fan club is?
It's a special live stream.
Is that our version of Lower Decks?
Yes. Even Lower Decks, yes. We have our executive officer, our first officer, Lieutenant, newly minted as well. It's promotions all across the board, except for poor Bosh. Lieutenant Commander Davok. And our new player. Executive officer, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I lost that responsibility.
Oh, no.
I thought that was me.
Now, we need to chat about that. Okay. Oh, no, you're still science. Let me move that back. Yeah, we'll... God, it's all going horribly wrong tonight, isn't it? Right, yes, but you are science. I got that bit right,
I do
at least.
the science and the scans.
And, of course, we have our XO and Councillor on board, our new crew member, Chris. Playing Zankir Bav Gronek. Did I pronounce it
Councillor Gronek. Or I guess it would be Councillor Bav Gronek, wouldn't it?
Call me Zankir.
Yeah, call me Zankir.
Call me Councillor.
You know what? Let's throw away the formalities. It's just you and me.
Is it? So he'd be a doctor then, wouldn't he? I suppose.
I guess he would. Yeah. I guess he would have to be.
Was Troy a doctor?
That's a good question.
Had like the power mental thing going on that worked so well.
I think it's one that you can be, but as long as you could have been to Starfleet Medical and be qualified as a counsellor.
Oh, maybe Zankir is a doctor. We'll never know. There's literally no way of finding out.
Well, you can always ask him.
I suspect his CV has been heavily massaged by Section 31.
Yes. Well, that's it. Being Section 31, is it all a secret? Is it all a lie? Who can say? How does everyone feel about this Section 31 thing? Because that was sort of thrown at you a bit, wasn't it?
I mean, Bosh is fully on board.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Access to banned pharmaceuticals. Yay.
Pretty much.
Illegal ship upgrades.
Yes. And completely different. Like, I'm really on board as well. Like, illegal drugs and ship upgrades as well. But that's, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm definitely in for some cloak and dagger stuff. That sounds fun.
Bosh does
That's
look
me,
awesome in
me
a
as a
cloak.
player. Yeah.
Indeed. And what about the captain? I mean, it means a promotion. It's like, does he feel like he's being bought off though, or what?
That's interesting. That's interesting. Is it? Well, yeah. And it was part of the deal, wasn't it? Instant 4 pips. But I was doing the job anyway, so I might as well get paid, not paid for it. But you know, if you started off in command track at the academy, as Wraal did, your life goal, your career path is to sit in the captain's chair of one of Starfleet's many thousands of vessels. That's what you're there to do, and to learn on the way and get yourself ready for that. If someone decides that you're ready for it, when the captain's chair is drawn out, it's best to sit down.
Excellent. And what about Davok now? Logical Davok. Is Section 31 a logical thing, or is it just humans being humans?
I think Davok needs more information. Decision on that. However, if that's what we're going to do, he's happy to make sure that we all come out the other end right.
Happy, Davok? Happy?
Oh, that's a strong word.
Content.
Was he using a
Can
human
I feel content as a
colloquialism?
Vulcan?
Oh, content, I think, is fine. Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's all fine, because as we know, Vulcans are highly emotional beings. They're just repressed as fuck, like most of my family. So, are we ready to bring ourselves back into where we were? So last time you'd been... so basically we were fast forwarding those 2 weeks, were we not? Where you were being retrained on the ship and its new fiddly bits of technology. And indeed you've been commissioned by Section 31, not exactly a chief engineer, but a civilian to act in the role of chief engineer, someone who does have a lot of experience with cloaking technology. And I'm imagining you're all there on the bridge when this person is brought on board, and you see before yourselves a tall, grey-skinned, sallow-looking, almost vampiric-looking Reman, who introduces himself as Rogetz. I am Rogetz Thesaurus.
Welcome aboard the Livingstone. Do we refer to you as Rogetz? What is your preferred title?
Up to you. Rogetz is fine.
Rogetz it will be then. I understand you're joining us in a civilian capacity, or do you hold rank within Section 31?
I do not hold ranks. I am Reman.
Very good. As this is a Starfleet vessel, I will not be allocating you a rank per se, but you will be allocated a task on board this vessel. So you will be my chief engineer. So if I refer to you as chief, you know who I'm talking to.
Understood.
Have you had time to acquaint yourself with the engine room on board the Livingstone and your engineering division?
He will tell you. I'm not going to keep doing the voice, but he will tell you that he was told to come basically straight to the bridge to report himself, which is what he has done.
Very good.
Now this is probably a few days in on your 2 weeks, so you'll have plenty of time. I mean, do you want to get to know him? Do you want to leave him to his own devices? How do you want to?
I mean, if he's anything like the Romulan on the Defiant, he'll last 2 episodes and then never be spoken of again.
We could invite him to a poker game.
Well, I hope not, because they died. That Romulan on the Defiant.
Oh.
They were killed on an away mission. Just never replaced, which is odd. Yes.
Because it was very clear and made very, very clear that they had to have a Romulan work in the cloaking device.
Yeah, that was all part of the deal, wasn't it? Only they get to push this is not a cloaking device button I've had fitted to the bridge.
Yeah. Captain Quinn is right. It was the Romulan was Seska's twin sister.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. I'd forgotten that. And it was never to be used in the Alpha Quadrant as well.
Mm-hmm. No such issues with us. Right.
No, different race, Remans, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So are you wanting to give a wide? But I mean, this is like for each of you individually.
As captain, I think that I might instruct our new chiefs to make themselves familiarise themselves with the engineering department and the ship in their particular area, and then I might ask them to report to my ready room at some point for them to give me their feedback on that. So I want to know what they think of the ship and the engineering team that that's already working down there.
Okay, we'll come back on that one. Davok, how are you reacting to this new person?
I'm not reacting.
You're not. Okay, so you're not engaging them, or?
No, I mean, unless it's required to in the line of duty, but otherwise.
Okay. Well, no. And in fact, Rogetz seems to be giving you a wide berth as well. Dr. Bosh.
Bosh will do on the first day or so. Run some computer as much as he can through to find out about Remans, and get as much background information as he possibly has, especially if because we've got the Section 31 database, finding out everything that's kind of in there, because as you all know, I guess it's as Rule of Acquisition 194 says, it's always good business to know about new customers before they walk in your door.
I like that one. I like them all.
Once he's got a bit more of a clear sort of read up on the Remans, he'll go and introduce himself, see if there's anything that this Reman's particularly interested in, after, would like to procure. No, the usual.
So what you discover in the database is that Remans were effectively they were an undesirable caste in Romulan society. They are very, very distantly related to Romulans, but only very distantly. They were treated very much as slaves by the Romulans until there was an uprising by a human clone called
looks a bit like you.
Shinzon. Looks very much like me. Yes, we went to the same hairdresser, and he was called Shinzon. He ended up dying, but following that, there's been and this is coming more from the Section 31 database rather than the Federation database. There have been some shifts in Romulan society to try and accept the Remans more, but it's not going very well for them. In fact, after the death of Shinzon, a lot of the Remans sort of lost their way. A a lot of them voluntarily went back into servitude because it's all they'd ever known. This particular Riemann, it seems not. And there's you can't access the person. No, you could actually as Doctor. Yes, there's very little in the personal database about Rogetz. Just that he was a slave in the mines, dilithium mines. He was freed by Shinzon. And at some point he came over to work with Section 31.
Okay.
Zankir, you would be already familiar, not overly familiar with Rogetz, but you've seen him around on various Section 31.
What's his... what's here, just from seeing him around, do I have a good read on what he's like? Is he into the shadier side of things, or is he above board? Would I know that?
He is incredibly difficult to get a read on. It's fair to say he does what he's told, but he's very dispassionate, not in a Vulcan unemotional way, but just very closed off, closed rather than repressed. I know that might be a subtle difference, but he very much keeps himself to himself.
Okay.
Short, to the point, but does everything he's asked of that's asked of him, and has never caused trouble.
Okay. Well, I think Zankir would make himself known, would introduce himself to what was his name again?
Rogetz.
Rogetz. Yeah.
Rogetz Thesaurus.
Thesaurus.
I was waiting for someone.
That's handy.
Yeah.
Gotten on board.
It's spelt exactly the same way as Roget's Thesaurus, yes.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down, and I was like, "Is that how it is?" But I don't know because I write things wrong all the time. So.
Not how I spell it. I've got a hyphen.
So I think Zankir would like to see him in the engineering walk up and just say, "It's a little cramped in here, isn't it?"
I'm accustomed to it. Do you require something, Councillor?
Yes. No, not at all. I just wanted to formally introduce myself. I know we've been informally working together for some time, but since you're part of the ship, just know that my door is open should there be anything that you need to discuss.
Understood.
Very well. Try not to hit your head. Again, I don't like it in here. And then he just leaves.
Okay, he watches you leave. Okay. Ed, you say after a period of time of settling in, you want to summon him to your ready room, and he appears in your ready room like magic.
Oh, hang on. Shall I have to change the background?
Scene change.
Well, I do have one. Just a second. Where are we?
There we go.
That'll do it. Ah, there we are.
You had your ready room ready.
Always ready in my room. Rogetz, come in, please. Do sit down.
He sits down.
As our new chief engineer, could you give me a report on your initial thoughts on the Livingstone as she seems at the moment, and specifically, how has the new technologies, how well have they integrated into the ship's frame? This is a prototype, after all.
As a prototype, it is designed to be a test bed for new technologies, so they have integrated. Fine, they were integrated at manufacture. You just didn't have access to them.
Yes, our new toys, shall it were, as it were. And are you happy that the engineering team, as it is, are going to be able to work well underneath you as our chief engineer?
Your crew are efficient.
Excellent. I believe I've given you access to all the engineering team's most recent performance reviews. Do feel free within your department to make any reassignments as necessary. You are chief of that department, so I trust you to run it with the efficiency I'd come to expect from a Riemann.
Okay. He just looks at you impassively.
Good, good. It's like talking to the bulkhead. Very good. Now, I take it that our control of the cloaking device is accessible from the bridge. Should I give the command, and you are able to at least mask our power use of this to those crew who are not aware of our of the other things our coats button up over at the moment.
That is correct, Captain. Access can be gained from the science station, and I have set up several algorithms to mask the power expenditure if required.
Very good. Excellent work. Good. That's all for the moment. Please do retake your return to engineering. Continue your work, and if necessary, there are engineering positions on the bridge. Should you need to relocate to the bridge for any particular reason, workstations are available.
Would you like me to work from the bridge, Captain?
That might be advisable. We do use, as we are a fairly small ship. Most department heads are located on the bridge, so I understand that engineering is a particular nuanced division that sometimes needs you more near the warp core than Davok would like to be. Would feel more comfortable with. Yes. So, would you be quite happy to work from the bridge position?
You are the captain, Captain.
But you are the chief. The captain commands the ship. The engineer owns the ship. Please join us on the bridge if you are able to.
The ship is owned by Section 31, Captain.
Federation taxpayers pay for it. Very good. I will see you on the bridge imminently. Dismissed.
Yes, Captain. And he leaves. Chatty old fellow, isn't he?
Isn't he? I like him.
He's a barrel of laughs, that guy.
We'll get the tea and the good biscuits next time. It'll be worthwhile. I was going to actually, whilst I'm in here, I'm just going to go through this week's reports as well, and I'll just communicate to the doctor. Dr. Bosh, I've just had this week's status report from Mr. Davok's science department. It turns out that Specialist Wilson is down with Mendarkan pox at the moment. Clearly, she didn't have it as a child. Has she reported to you yet for lotioning?
No, she should be confined to quarters. We don't want her in sick bay.
In fact, yeah, you give everyone a bad dose of spots.
I know
all about. I know all about those of spots. Very good. In that case, yes, I'll. If you could perform the medical lockout on her quarters and just restrict her to her quarters for the time being, that would be much appreciated.
Aye, sir.
Very good. And with that, I get on with the rest of my paperwork, because captain paperwork.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to do in the meantime?
Deactivate the damaged microflora.
Oh.
I was thinking that we might want to reboot the phase undefined harmonic equalizer before we continue.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Almost vital.
And then what we could do is reverse microscopic undefine the flux controller. I think that would fix it.
You don't want to infuse the flux capacitor with 1.21 gigawatts.
But the problem there is if you restrict the master conversion controller, you'll have problems with the Verteron system. So it's best just to leave it alone.
Right. Yeah. Amy there, knowing her stuff.
My children with a new toy. I love it.
Don't forget, Doctor, that we should transfuse the pathogenic vessels before we leave.
Quite right, Councillor. And that's definitely the way to go.
So this is going to be another hour and a half of people just giving us techno babble.
No. We'll like it'll go quickly once we replicate the redundant neurons.
Has anyone considered resetting the primary power matrix?
Yes.
And then
No, we'll just flood the deck with tachyon emissions.
and reinitialize the system.
It's all got far too silly.
We're like kids at Christmas. Just let us run this off, and it's a new toy. Let us burn it off, and then we'll be fine.
Well, if we modulate the displacement damper, I think we can put a lid on this.
Yeah, that should help.
Okay. I just realised I put a thing in the wrong page on our private Discord. There you go. It's there now. So I sent you off air the specs for your new support vessel that kind of comes off the nose cone, which is what's her name again?
Henrietta.
Henrietta. And why is she called Henrietta? Because I love this.
Well, it was who mentioned it? Was it Matt last week mentioned the link between Livingstone and Stanley, and that was Dr. Livingstone was discovered by Henry Stanley, so Henrietta. Got a big girl's name. Shit.
There we go. Now I have also sent you all an updated version of the Livingstone ship sheet. Don't say that quickly after a few pints. Because it's obviously slightly different to what you originally thought. Now you've got access to a few things, so that's there for you to refer to. But as I say, over this fortnight, you're familiarised with the new systems. You're familiarised with Section 31. Is there anything else, obviously, other than your new crew member? Anything else you would like to do in that fortnight before we get into it proper?
Have a good sleep.
I'm tempted to take Henrietta out for a spin, but I think I think we'll leave that until we have a good reason to do so.
I mean, you can if you want. Take her out for a little bop around just to familiarise yourself with the controls.
Oh, in that case, Wraal runs down like a child in a sweet job.
Is the first officer allowing the captain to leave the ship?
Ooh.
Well, have we established who the first officer is?
All right. Oh, yeah, that's you.
Okay. Well, we're still within Section 31 airspace, right?
Yes, you are.
We're still at the station, so yeah. I don't see a problem with this.
Excellent.
Famous last words. Just say it like that.
Anyone else pulling shotgun?
What could possibly go wrong?
It's 3 days from retirement.
Hello, does Indy suddenly appear? No.
The Henrietta's just got "Live Forever" written at the side.
Yes. Fantastic. And you do indeed familiarise yourself with the controls. The Henrietta, of course, does not have a cloaking device, but does cloak when she's docked. You have been
stripes in red.
Yes. You can absolutely have whatever paint job you like on it. That is not a problem. And with that, you have been given your orders by Director Bashir. And you are sent off on your merry way. Maximum warp. You do not have to adhere to the warp limitations. However, you are advised not to be too cavalier about it, especially in front of other Federation ships. Just because it might raise questions. And that's the general Section 31. Don't do stuff that's going to raise questions. Beyond that, you're fairly autonomous.
Like casual.
Exactly. Like casual-ish.
So, we bring ourselves, after the fast-forward of the 2 weeks, to a vision of the bridge. At the back of the bridge is this tall grey Riemann. Off to one side in the science station we have Davok. Across the other side we have Councillor Zankir, and loitering near the back as well we have Dr. Bosh, and we cut in on a log entry, if you would please.
Ooh.
Captain's log, stardate 57075.8. Captain's log. That's going to take a little getting used to. It's been a fortnight since my promotion, and I have to say that the fourth gold pip seems strangely heavier. The circumstances of my promotion are probably playing into that a great deal. Whilst I'm enthusiastic and keen to work with our new collaborators, I can't help but feel a slight sense of unease at their duplicitous nature. Director Bashir has assured me that the more nefarious side of the organisation has been strictly curtailed under his watch. But would he tell me that if it wasn't the case? Section 31. Self-proclaimed saviour and shield of the Federation? Or its dark heart unrevealed? As it is, our first intriguing mission on their, and of course the Federation's behalf, awaits. We're currently en route to study the primary star of the Sigma Libra system, an M2 Type 3 class red giant. It's located within the Romulan neutral zone. Deep space telescopes have recorded unexpected fluctuations in energy outputs and brightness. Now, it was understood that this star was dead, but it seems to have reignited. We could be about to witness the beginnings of a spectacular, miraculous astronomical event. We must be cautious, as this system lies within the Romulan neutral zone, and if we can see it, so can they. And whilst Section 31 may have smoothed over some of our previously difficult encounters, I doubt they'll be pleased to see us again.
Thank you very much. So you are en route to the Sigma Libre system. What, in the classic RPG trope saying, would you like to do?
What's for breakfast?
It's replicators. What would you like?
Yeah, you can be anything.
Gree worms?
Bosh is going to take some time just making sure that quarantine procedures are up to standard, and replicating large amounts of a mixture between pseudocreme and chamomile lotion for the cadet.
Okay. You do indeed, and you patent a new product called Pseudomile that makes you rich beyond the dreams of avarice.
And one of the there was a spare, like, some cargo space, wasn't there?
There is cargo space.
Yeah. Unless Section 31 had magically we hadn't seen a gym area as part of her kind of getting to be on the ship. First is going to set up a sort of a gym area with sparring mats and None of this holographic nonsense. Actually, belting the crap out of things.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem at all. Well, with Captain's permission, of course.
Yes, why not? I mean, I haven't. I don't think I've put anything on my character sheet about Wraal doing that ambo jitsu.
I mean, Davok is well up for a gym.
That's true. As long,
It doesn't need a lot of space.
First, as long as you put a skipping rope rack, a whole rack of skipping ropes.
Can we bond over skipping first? Can I show you how to skip? Do you know how to skip?
No, but I would be very interested in finding out.
Okay, that's what we get done in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Would
Would
a Vulcan
quick
showing
question.
Cmdr how to skip? That is great.
Well, not just that, but how is Davok able to skip with a dodgy leg?
It's not that bad. It's a slight limp.
Does
the jumping is meant to help because it's strengthening the leg muscles. It's a good exercise for that.
Right.
Does the captain wish to have an ambo jitsu match?
Oh, I think if first invited the captains, I think the captain would probably have to agree. For the sake
Then first is inviting the captain to an ambo jitsu match.
Now it's been a few years since I've tried this. I've last really tried it at the academy. I'm a bit out of practice, so you'll have to. Well, there's no such thing as going easy.
I roll.
On my backside for the for the honour of the Livingstone.
So I rolled 1 dice, and I got the Star Trek logo.
Oh, I'm on my backside.
Well, we can do this properly if you want.
Yes.
You can add
Yes,
some threats.
100%.
Thinking.
Okay. So, oh my goodness, I need to. Let's see. This is going to. We're going to use the unarmed combat rules,
Great.
and it'll be the first one to an injury. Very
This is
simply.
brilliant. Injure yourselves before we're on a really important mission.
Bosh is on standby.
He's first just going to completely knock the captain out before we go on this dangerous mission.
Yeah. I mean, Zankir, how do you feel about this?
I mean, if Bosh is there, then I'm fairly confident that no one's going to be permanently hurt. But I think he's also ready to. He's. There are some lingering questions about First's tendency towards violence after Zankir's last interaction with her. So he may be on hand just in case anything does go. Oh, I guess he'd have the bridge actually, so he wouldn't be able to if the captain's down there.
Excellent. And
But he'd be confident that it's not going to do any permanent damage.
Okay, I mean it's designed. You know, everyone's armored and protected, and in fact, on top of like the normal unarmed combat, you are each gaining resistance 2 because of the armor. Because you are both blind, we're going to make this a little bit more difficult to hit each other. So this is all going to be interesting, and my God, I'm creating ambo jitsu rules off the top of my head.
Why? This is great. Someone, Amy, start jotting down.
Okay, sorry, I was looking for a picture of Spock and Kirk fighting as my background. Anyway, right.
The track is called The Ritual, and it's on Spotify. I can't play it because of copyright. But there we go. The Ritual. If you want to listen to that at home. Yep. That's it. So, oh gosh, right. Unarmed strike. So yes, you're gaining resistance 2. Just say resistance 3. Resistance 2 because of the armor. It's going to be a daring and security roll to hit each other, and I'm going to make it difficulty 3 because of the fact that you're blind. Each of you.
So, sorry, daring.
It's going to be daring and security. However, let's decide. We're going to take it in turns, obviously. But to decide who goes first, I would like each of you to roll me a d20, and the lowest goes first.
9.
13.
Oh, first in with the first strike as the two combatants enter the circle and start circling each other with their ambujitsu sticks, which probably has a proper name.
Yes. So,
Standing,
dice number 1.
Listening for. Go for it.
Dice number 1 was a 19.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
as the first swing miss, however, the second die is a 3. And I have a daring of 10 and a security of 5. So, that 3, is that a double?
Do you have a focus that applies here?
Do you want the one in Ambujitsu itself?
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. That'll do. That is 2 successes. Roll your damage. Remember, you get resistance too. So,
how many
damages?
How many of the d6s?
This is going to be
security 1.
Unarmed. So it's the unarmed strike. The amount of the number next to the unarmed strike.
Yes,
yes, it is.
Roll.
Plus your security.
Plus secure.
And that should be factored in. So
I think that's factored in. Otherwise, that's a lot of dice.
Oh, right,
it should
okay.
be 3. Security plus 1.
Now,
Right.
So I rolled 6 die. 4 of them were blank, and 2 of them were Star Trek logos.
Okay. Now, there isn't anything special working on this, because I'm going to say you can't use vicious. I don't think that's... even if vicious was an option, which I don't think it is for unarmed.
There is. I have knockdown and non-lethal.
Knockdown applies. So, with a quick swing wildly out the way and a noise from Eelin Wraal indicating his location, to first an uppercut with the thick end of the stick takes Wraal off his feet with 2 points. Well, without any injury, because 2 resistance and 2 points of damage. So no injury, but Wraal is on his ass.
Are we all watching this?
Wraal.
I think
can be.
I think
Yes.
everyone's.
Right, so I'm going to, I think with that, minor action would be to move, which is stand, get back up. So if prone, stand, losing all the benefits and disadvantages of being prone. I can't stand and drop prone in the same turn. I'm not just like...
Nope.
Get back up and feeling where that attack came from, make a lunge back at the same direction.
Okay, roll your dice.
And I've got a 7 and a 2. Now, that's the daring and security is 13, so that's 2 successes, but nothing more, because I have no focuses in anything close combat.
With 2 successes, Wraal responds to where first was with a quick jab to the stomach. Roll your damage.
I've got 4 dice to roll here. And I've got 2 Star Trek symbols, but nothing else.
Okay, and first is knocked on her ass with no damage. We might be out this a while, folks.
Can I use a focus to reduce that?
Oh, what is your focus?
Oh no, actually, no.
There's no damage.
No, it's fine. There's no damage. It's fine.
Okay, we're back round to first.
Yeah. Those are 2 successes, a 5 and a 9, and obviously I have a focus in Ambujitsu.
Wallop.
Okay.
So that's two successes plus a focus.
Plus
All
a
that better.
focus.
Yeah, he's got 5 and
Ooh.
So the 6 dice, 2 blanks, 2 Star Trek symbols, a 2 hit, and a 1 hit.
So that is 5. If my maths is right there.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
5
yeah.
points of damage, and is it 5 for an injury or 6? Remind me.
5 causes the injury.
5 is an injury. That wasn't as long as I thought it would be, as Wraal is knocked firmly on his arse for a KO by. Wraal is Wraal's knocked on his arse by First for a KO. Instantly revived by Bosh.
Yeah, and then as he's sort of on the floor, First will grab him by kind of an elbow, essentially, like grab onto there and lift him, like helping up, but literally just sort of pull him to his feet.
Okay.
Well played. First.
Yes, that was most enjoyable. We should do this again.
Yeah, maybe we'll set up an intership league, and maybe I'll take my next turn last. Ringing spots.
Excellent.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
If you ever wish to train,
Actually, I might at this rate, I might actually have to report to First for some additional hand-to-hand combat training when we have some time. I think there's a lot we could learn.
yeah,
Davok doesn't think so.
First also has a focus in hand to hand, so yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one thing you have gained in this game from that combat, as well as a bit of fun, as Mike S03 rightly points out, because of First's actions, you get a momentum.
Yay!
You have a momentum in this
Beat up
game.
your captain, get some momentum. Don't the rest of you consider that for a second.
So is First your chief of security now, or how did we resolve that?
Yeah, we allocated First as chief of security and stand-in tactical officer. Reggie was fine with this because Reggie just likes working. He's not in this for the glory, or he works for a living. Although I think she's been given senior chief petty officer because Reggie's only so she's still just one rank over the top of Reggie, but she's still technically a non-commissioned officer. But security chief is still the task. When we talked about last week about task and rank and role on a ship being often 2 different things.
Indeed.
Of all the people on board, First is, you can tell she's trying to be friendly. Doesn't quite come across. Apart from, she seems to really like Reggie.
Kindred spirits, you see.
Yeah.
When you say she really likes Reggie,
oh, Reggie, you old dog.
He's interesting. We'll see.
Excellent.
Reggie replicates some extra antler ointment for antenna ointment.
I look forward to that role play right there. Okay. And is there
Livingstone.
anything
Knights.
else you'd like to do en route to this system?
Zankir would like to pull the captain aside at some point after he's recovered from getting his ass beaten by First. Yeah. Captain, I was wondering whether it's wise to use the cloaking device within the neutral zone. I know it would benefit us, but given that the Romulans don't like us using it, which would be better? Us being caught in the neutral zone or us being caught using a cloaking device within the neutral zone?
That's a very, very wise thought. But one, I think, essentially, our cover must always be that we are a Federation starship. Again, the Romulans finding out that we are a Section 31 Federation starship in the neutral zone with a cloaking device is going to take a lot of reports to explain. So yes, my strategy would be to plot a course towards our destination that will hopefully avoid or maximize our avoidance of known Romulan patrol paths. And so I take it that may have some Section 31 intelligence on known Romulan patrol routes and or areas of particular interest that we can avoid to get to where we're going. If we're allowed to go maximum speed, a bit of a longer trip isn't going to be particularly an issue because we can exceed our the warp 6 speed limit.
This is just a me question, a Chris question. How difficult is it to detect a cloaked ship? I know there are methods to do it.
I mean, unless you've got a full-on tachyon detection grid set up, it's practically impossible unless you're right on top of it.
And specifically looking for it.
Yeah, you mean...
Okay.
So if you're in looking at like a sector of several systems, and you're one Romulan patrol ship, there's practically no chance that you'd notice it unless you were scanning for, basically the wake of a ship in that area. And even then, it would be the cloak would help disrupt that. So yeah, you'd have to be up fairly close and think. If you're in a system and you thought there was a cloak ship there, you could put out the feelers and have a chance of finding it. But yeah, it's a pretty good hiding device.
It's reasonable to assume that Romulans using cloaking devices would know particularly what to look for. I think it's worth bearing in mind that the Romulans, I think, do have a saying that nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
That is one of their chief weapons.
I don't go far with a Councillor.
No, that's absolutely right. Yeah, you and Matt said it. You have to be. You'd have to be looking for it. If you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it.
I'd imagine that Romulans have listening posts all along their neutral zone, which probably are scanning for something that would give them a hint towards it. But again, I'm sure navigation-wise, we could find a route that would take us in route of least resistance, or best chance to sneak in.
If you want, before you arrive at the system, you can spend your freshly minted momentum to get some information about the system itself.
Well, can we do that via Davok's sensor scanning and Davok's chief science officer ability?
This would be more data retrieval because I'm thinking you're too far away. Scanning will come at a later date. This is more
into the system itself.
What do we know about the system going into it?
Yes, let's call up everything we can on the computer.
Well, let's see if there is a computer retrieval aspect. I'm looking on there because I've got a nice little sheet. No. Essentially, no. We're back to what I suggested, which is you can spend your momentum for information.
Go on, then. There we go.
Right.
We'll do some scans and we'll get there before.
Yeah, Davok will minus some momentum when we get there. I'm not.
This particular system is relatively unremarkable. No M-class planets. In fact, only 3 planets in the system, all of which are Y-class. It has no strategic value whatsoever. In fact, the only thing really of note in it was back in 2158. There was a vessel, a Federation vessel, that entered the NX-07 under the control of a Captain Michael Durant, which entered the system and was lost with all hands. Now, this was at the height of the Romulan Federation War, so it's fairly obvious what happened there. But that's the only thing really of note in the database about the system. Okay, and with that information, as you approach towards the system, that's probably a good place for us to take a break. We will be back.
The nerd in me is figuring out what the name of that is based on the space shuttles. Hang on, number 7. I think it might be Endeavour.
Oh no, I can give you the name. It was the Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Vanished, eh?
There you go. Right,
what kind of
see you after
experiment
the
was it running?
It wasn't. It just entered the system.
Okay.
Right, 5 minutes. We will be back. Don't go anywhere. That's an order.
Yeah.
because we are back live. Although we're waiting on Ed joining us. Here he is.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Here he is.
One of his life. Oh no! Why did you go?
Oh, no.
She was in lockdown.
I might have to have a chat with the engineer about the filters on the quarantine suite.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so we're heading into this star system on a section 30 on your first section 31 mission. You don't know much about the system, but there's not that much to say about the system, except miraculously, this star appears to have reignited, which is unheard of, and right in Davok's wheelhouse. This is astrophysics, Davok.
I know. He hasn't been able to use that much.
Well, it is
But it's
astrophysics because it's star.
Oh, yeah, real stars.
This is Davok's thing.
It very much
He wants
Davok's
to scan the shit out of that.
At the technical term.
a Vulcan idiom there.
Yeah.
Mr. Davok, scan the shit out of this anomaly, please.
Yes.
Helm, secure from warp, Mr. Davok. Get your scanning fingers out.
Get your scanning fingers out of what? Anyway, moving on very swiftly. For it degenerates, you degenerates. So, yeah, we're heading on. What do we think we're going to find? Or
Well, it's a star that's reignited, which is something that hasn't happened before, as far as I'm aware of. Is that correct?
no, it's an unheard of phenomenon.
So my initial thought is that the star has not ignited itself and something serious going on.
You believe that other forces may be at work.
But I'm hoping that there are some astrophysics things that I can scan and enjoy.
Indeed. How do we feel about going into the neutral zone? Your experiences with the Romulans have not been terribly exciting. Well, they have been very exciting.
As long as we don't find any more armor-plated maniac ones, we'll be fine.
Well, Ben seems to think it's probably a kid with matches. Arson about with matches. Okay, well let's bring ourselves back in, still en route, as the captain has broken out, it seems. Let's pick it up from there.
Helm secured from warp. Mr. Davok, scan the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so for
Get my
scanning,
scanning fingers ready.
I think maybe scan the system first and then scan the star separately. So let's scan the system. Find out if we're really on our own out here. I want to see if there are any traces of anything.
Okay, so this is going to be a sensor sweep. I need a reason and science, assisted by sensors and science on the new ship stats. Just saying, and it is a difficulty 0. So here's your chance to farm some of that lovely, lovely momentum.
Does my astrophysics come into play yet?
You're scanning the star separately, aren't you? So I'm going to say no. Not on the sensor sweep.
It did not do good. I did not get a single success. I got an 18 and a 16. I need under 14.
Oof.
But that's okay, because I'm only interested in the star, so there's nothing here.
Who is scanning for the ship?
One ship. You can do it.
Who's rolling? Sorry, rolling, not scanning.
I got it. Okay, so this is sensors, correct?
Sensors.
Sensors and science.
Okay, so a target of 11. Oh, 12.
Okay, you have 0 successes. Ergo, you have built up 0 momentum. However, it was a difficulty 0 task, and you didn't get any fumbles. No critical failures here.
Make any worse.
Or complications, as we call them in this game. So I can tell you that in the star system, Davok, that you are approaching rapidly, there is a Romulan Dideridex warbird.
Oh shit!
Is it the same? Does it have the same registration as the one of the last ones, isn't it?
Could I see from the signature whether it's the same? I'm sure there'd be a way of checking that.
I'm going to.
Well, Livingstone's already got one warbird painted on the outside of it, if you remember from last season.
I'm going to say from this range, you can't tell. I would have done. You can buy information with the momentum, but you don't have any information to buy. Sorry, you don't have. Yeah, that.
You don't have any information to buy momentum with.
You have to have found out something to get the extra spend. Yes.
Yeah. You have no momentum to buy it with. Yes.
Oh no!
What would you like to do?
Yeah, Romulan
warbird in the system. Okay. Cloak button. Cloak the ship.
Do I have the cloak button?
Oh yeah.
Did I hear something about the science station?
Yeah,
I'll press the button.
You
Is it a
do.
big red button?
Roget set it up so you can control this as well.
Yes, this is a Davok role. It is control and engineering, assisted by engines and security. It is a difficulty 2.
Does my computer work?
No. The reason it's a difficulty 2 is that reflects how effective the cloak is.
Cool.
So for a full-on
push that button
cloaky cloak, you want 2 successes.
Masking all the signatures and so on, isn't it?
Okay.
That last bit is me sort of fudging the system slightly.
So control and engineering was that?
It is control and engineering assisted by engines and security on the ship.
Okay, I got that. 14.
One for you, number 1.
Okay, so I got a 19 and I got a Starfleet symbol.
Oh yes.
Hey!
And it is just as well meets beats because I rolled exactly the number we needed for the ship, which was 14 engines and security.
So that's 3.
You get your momentum.
Yay.
You get a momentum, which you can now spend for information about that warbird if you want.
Do I get free info?
As
a science officer.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about this.
Ed knows better than I do.
Oh, I sent it all out. Hang on, let me find it.
Is this a talent?
It's the
science officer succeeds. Yeah, when the science officer succeeds at a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, or using a tricorder, the character generates 1 bonus momentum, which may only be used on the obtain information momentum spend.
We weren't using those things on the ship, were we?
Not on
but
this
it's when
instance.
when you make that roll assisted by a ship, right?
Yep.
By the ship's sensors. Is that right?
Are you using engines or something?
Computers or sensors?
Assisted by the ship's computer. Yeah, got it. So no.
And it's neither in this case. However, your previous roll was a success, even though because it was difficulty 0, even though you didn't get any successes. So it would have counted for that. So let's retcon that slightly. Yes, that warbird. Do you remember just before Q zapped you to the mirror universe? You were surrounded by 20 warbirds As far
And
as the
about
eye
another
can see,
18 coming in.
one of them hailed you and told you basically it's surrender or die. It is that
them.
warbird.
Oh no.
So they're old school Romulan then.
This isn't boding well.
Well, some of the Romulans we met last season were aware that they'd had that problem with neural parasites and were willing to help us because we were helping them.
Yes.
But I have a funny feeling that the neural parasite infection in the Romulan Star Empire was probably hushed up pretty quickly by the Tal Shiar.
Well, that
glad that
particular
cloaking
Romulan, you would probably recall, told you that basically because you'd committed eco-terrorism on a planet close to their territory, that was why they wanted you to surrender or die.
Oh, we are definitely staying cloaked.
Yeah.
Creepy.
You do appear to have an effective cloak currently.
Okay. Just in order to help that, do our sensors show any sort of, or can they show any sort of flight path or projected flight path of that, and we can set our course in the system to avoid, basically, if like thinking like keeping in their baffles, to sort of use a submarine term.
You'll have to explain keeping in baffles to me because that's not a phrase I'm familiar with.
Keeping in their
sensor blind
ion,
spots.
or there should be an ion wake that we can hide ourselves in.
Yeah.
Okay. Romulan warbirds work slightly differently because they work on quantum singularities. However, yes, you can negotiate a course to keep yourselves as obscure as possible. However, Rogetz does tell you that the cloak is holding fast and well.
Agreed. We just want to make ourselves look like a sensor echo.
Yeah, should we even be spotted? We want it to make it look like there's a wake turbulence in its own propulsion system, something like that.
Davok, scan the star now.
Yep. Go have a look at this. Have a look at the star.
Davok,
Davok.
you want
Looks really
to
interesting.
scan the scar? Oh my god! Scan the star.
Put your teeth back in.
Which star are you scanning?
Scan
The
the
one that we're here
star.
to look at, or the star that is in the Warbird's propulsion system?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh.
So, a quantum singularity is another name for a black hole. So that would be.
I
a
realized that as I was saying it, and I was like,
no,
it's a collapsed
you're
star.
not far
I
off.
suppose,
It is a collapsed star.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's a potential of loads of stars being within the black hole, so you could argue that it might work.
Yes, but you also know that Romulan warbird engines are very heavily shielded for very obvious reasons. Scanning it just ain't going to happen. You scan that it's there, that's about it. If you can scan it any more than that, they've got a problem. Yeah, you can give me, for the star specifically, you can give me a reason and science assisted by the ship's sensors and science. And it is, again, a difficulty 0, so a chance to accrue some more of that lovely momentum. And yes, astrophysics does play into this.
Yay! Let's look at this star. So, gosh, I'm not rolling brilliantly. I got a 9 and a 19.
That's one.
One success.
And a success from the ship as well.
No, that's
2
3
successes,
momentum.
so that's 2 momentum.
Ooh, but I do get an extra momentum to spend for extra information.
Okay, your extra bit of information is that as you are scanning this star, and definitely it's throwing out some very, very unusual readings. Let me just check my notes. Yeah, its energy fluctuations are all over the place, rising and falling, without any particular pattern, which you wouldn't expect from a stable star at all. However, it is definitely active, which it was a dead star, and dead stars stay dead. But as you are watching this, your sensors pick up a projectile from the Romulan warbird into the star itself.
Ooh, what?
It is a
Can we get
probe.
Can we fit?
It is a probe. Now you can spend an extra piece of momentum for more information about the probe if you wish.
We've got one to spend. Yeah, Davok, what's that probe?
What is that probe, computer?
Taking one of your momentum away, the computer calls up various bits of data and tells you that the probes are carrying, well, they are trilithium probes, so Captain Quinn's spot on there, but also carrying protomatter and tekasite.
Typing protomatter.
Would I have any knowledge of these things?
They are very unstable elements, all.
Yeah, trilithium and protomatter is not what you want to be. That is definitely incompatible, dangerous goods.
And there's nothing around this area, really.
When you say nothing around,
stuff.
nothing.
So, like, is there
interest.
much of not much like planets or?
No, 3 Y-class planets. They're all quite a distance out as well. One thing you are getting with the star, you're getting massive solar flares and upheavals in the star's chronosphere.
Right. Based on that, are we able to get our scientist and our engineer to investigate what would be the usefulness of mixing trilithium and protomatter within a probe and using it within a star? Would they be able to put heads together and find out what that is? Is it to... is this to cause the star to have indigestion, or are they basically firing massive torpedo gabascons at it?
Well, the obvious reaction that, this is in some way caused the star to reignite would probably be fairly accurate. But without months or even years of study, it will be impossible to say for definite.
Amy, question: do we know how Romulans make the singularity that powers their ship? As just like standard, is that knowledge?
They're definitely not captured because they're far too small. They would be created in a laboratory.
Okay. I was just thinking.
In fact, there is a thing. They're artificial singularities.
Yeah, at Starfleet, we know that was the way that they power it. But I think from our point of view, we consider that although it's massively powerful and very efficient in size, it's sort of generally considered unstable and a bit dangerous to be messing around with mobile black holes on a spaceship. Hence why we keep a warp core instead, as you're well acquainted with.
So would they then be incentivized to perhaps look at different ways of creating the same thing that might be a bit more stable?
Do you think we might have stumbled across some sort of Romulan science experiment or some sort of a science research project that they're testing in the field, like a field test of a bigger project?
Maybe. I mean,
whilst you're speculating that, I'm going to interrupt you by spending some threat because a massive solar flare lashes out and in the direction of the Livingstone.
Invasive action, please.
Do we have to do that?
Do shields
Yeah, evasive
and cloak
action.
Someone needs to say the thing.
If it's evasive
Red
action, red alert goes up, and let us have a daring and con roll. I'm guessing this will be Wraal making it.
Yes, I spotted it, so I'll do that myself.
Assisted by the ship, structure and con, difficulty 2.
Daring and con, 14 or less. We've got a 14 and a 3. And we have helm operations as a focus.
And a success from the ship as well.
2 momentum back. Yeah, you managed to duck yourselves out of the way.
Oh,
Davok, was that caused by the probe that the Romulan ship launched? As in, was there the causality? Did the probe launch and then that caused the star to flare up?
I mean, that would make sense.
Looking at your readouts, there doesn't appear to be a correlation. The flare didn't erupt quickly after the probe had entered it, and also the probe entered it in a completely different part of the star.
Okay, so it's flaring randomly, but we suspect as a result. So I'm still wondering: are the Romulans making the star reignite? Is that their thing, or has it something else caused it to reignite, and they're trying to calm it back down again?
I think
as you're speculating this, I'm gonna stop you there because I'm gonna spend another load of momentum. Another massive solar flare licks out from the star straight towards the Livingstone.
Oh, okay. More evasive action. Pull back.
Okay, and I'm going to spend extra momentum to make it a difficulty 4, because this is a huge one. So again, it's daring and con, assisted by structure and con.
That's fine. I'm going to spend 1 momentum to add a dice in.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 1 threat and use my bold con skill to add another dice in, which I can re-roll.
Okay.
So we've got, this is good. I've got a 2 and a 5 and a 19 and a 16. So that's 1, 2, 3, assisted by the ship.
The did not succeed.
Oh, we got 3.
It just missed. Just missed by 1.
The solar flare lashes out against the ship, and you get so close, so very, very close. But the solar flare hits against the ship. Fortunately, you've red alert, so the shields are up. And it doesn't do any damage. However, the solar flare, combined with some of the more unusual ingredients, let's call them, reacts with the neutrinos in the cloaking device. The cloak drops suddenly.
Oh. Davok pushes the button.
Cloak back up button.
We will come to that in just a moment, because this is all happening simultaneously as the solar flare retracts back into the star. It leaves in its place just in front of the Livingstone a strange spatial distortion.
Like a fragment of solar matter?
You'd have to scan it to find out.
Davok, quick, scan that distortion. If that's a bit of a star, we might be able to grab it.
Is that what you want to do before raising the cloak, or?
I'm clicking the cloaking button first.
Okay.
Are the Romulans getting hit by these solar flares as well, or is it just us?
Yeah, they're as busy with this as we are.
You haven't seen the Romulans get hit by solar flares. Cloaking, give me a control and engineering roll assisted by engines and security. Difficulty 2.
Device attracting the solar flares.
Ship didn't do well.
I got a 2 and an 8. That's good.
2 and an 8. So with a difficulty 2, you succeed. The cloak drops, and just as the cloaking device re-engages, a ship starts to pull through this spatial distortion.
Ooh. Right. Davok, identify that ship. What is it?
Scanning.
Give me a reason and science assisted by sensors and science. Difficulty...
Say, just on manoeuvring thrusters, I'll just move
0.
Livingstone slightly backwards as well, give them space to come out. I'm not doing a cause and effect here.
Oh, I need to get 14. I rolled a 15 and a Star Trek symbol.
Hey, okay.
I'll
so
let someone else roll
Nice.
for the. I'll let someone else roll for the ship. I've failed the last 2 rolls. So,
Doctor?
13.
and
I believe it's
what the
11. Sensors and science.
yeah, 11.
Yeah, so no help from the ship, but you do get 2 momentum back. And you get some free information. The ship coming through is a very, very old class of Federation vessel. Your additional information. It is the NX07 Philadelphia.
What's that doing here? Can we open a hailing frequency and mask it so the Romulans don't hear us calling them?
A hailing
I believe we have.
frequency.
Do we have a specialist on board who's good at sneaky communications?
Yes.
Good at subspace communications.
Okay. Can you hail them on subspace and keep it on the down low and see if they're there, see if there's anyone responding?
Okay, Chris, I need a. Yep. So, sorry, you want to open a covert communication? Is that correct?
So we want to surreptitiously communicate with the Philadelphia, so
Right.
that the Romulans don't hear us.
While cloaked, without giving away your position, presumably as well.
Standing on our head, drinking a glass of water.
Yes, I am going to make this. This would normally be a difficulty 0 just to open a hailing frequency. I'm going to make this a difficulty 3 to do everything you want there. Control and engineering,
Okay.
please, Chris. Assisted by the ship's communications and engineering.
Take a momentum to spend as an extra dice.
Help yourself to a momentum
All
and
right.
add another dice in there, Chris.
There's
All right.
a momentum.
Shall I get the ship this time? Go.
Yeah.
Why not?
And you said control and engineering, right?
That's correct, yes.
So I got 2 successes, one fail, but not a complication.
Okay.
Okay.
Ship. Got a 9.
And does this count with my subspace communications focus?
Yes, if you've rolled under your engineering skill, yes.
Then no, I have not. My engineering is 1.
Right.
Ah.
If one of them is a 1, well, that would be 2 successes anyway. So yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay, and the ship got a success as well, did it?
A 9 from the Livingstone, yes.
Excellent. So that is your 3 successes. You are hailing the ship, and it responds, and you see a very stern-looking man with a very severe haircut in a blue jumpsuit with yellow piping on it, on a very, very antiquated bridge.
Okay, for the moment, we'll just do, though we've got that, we'll keep our video off and audio only. and as we don't want to alarm them at temporal prime directive and all that. But we'll communicate. Philadelphia, this is the Livingstone. Are you in distress?
Livingstone, I don't know your ship.
We are a civilian vessel. We noted a anomaly in this system, and your ship suddenly appeared. Can we render assistance?
Huh, boomers. You better get out of here. There's Romulans everywhere. We'll blow the crap out of them while you can escape.
That's copied. I think you might find that we're a little more heavily armed than your average freighter. We'd happy to assist you.
Okay, stop taking the piss. Boomers, get out of here. And the communication shut off.
Fine, I'll leave him to the Warbird then. Dinner time.
Is that really the best course of action here?
Well, funnily enough, the Warbird does appear to be turning its course towards the Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia towards the Warbird.
Oh, lunatics. We're going to have to help them out here.
Yeah.
We can't leave them to that. And I think that Philadelphia might get a pleasant surprise when Livingstone shows her teeth. Davok, scan for weaknesses on the Romulan Warbird, please.
I can.
Okay.
The locate soft dangly bits button.
This is a difficulty 3. Control and science. Oh, sorry.
So the Philadelphia's torpedoes. Do you think they're a full spread?
Oh, you!
That's such a cheesy line.
I can tell you that the armor's fairly light. Okay, so yes, difficulty 3, control and science assisted by sensors and security.
Okie dokie. I got a 2 and a 3.
Excellent. And that's 2 successes.
I'll do the ship. And which did you say this was for the ship?
Sensors and security.
Okay. A 2 success.
Yay! Okay, so with 3 successes, you have scanned for weaknesses.
Fantastic. My plan is that I'll take the helm and I'm going to maneuver the Livingstone close by to the Philadelphia so that when the Philadelphia inevitably opens fire, if we shoot as well, it might appear that the Philadelphia is shooting with a lot more firepower than a Romulan Warbird might imagine.
Okay.
Just a question. So the ship's come out of this space thing, and it wasn't there before. So is this Romulan ship the one that they're intending to attack?
Excellent point.
I'm also going to point out...
Given what we know of the Philadelphia, we know it went missing, right? During the height of the Romulan Federation War.
Mm-hmm.
It probably thinks that this is an old school.
Yeah.
Like an old Romulan, Romulan Warbird, the old steam-powered version.
Mm.
I am of the impression that obviously they don't know what's happened, so they're just going to act like the war is still on, and they're just going to fire.
Okay, we might be able to save them by relying on the Romulans' natural curiosity if we can get them to stand down. Because the Romulans will be probably more interested in looking at what this is. The Romulans will recognise this is a very old Earth ship. They'll know this is not.
Because it's so old, is there a way that I could try and hack into it to stop it from using their weapon system.
Interesting. Just as part of your plan, Captain, you would know you can't fire while cloaked.
Yes. Our plan would be to, when you drop cloak and you fire.
Yeah. Just to quick remind you of that. Okay.
Livingston's got limits on its power. You're firing and cloaking.
When scanning for weaknesses, Davok, the Romulans don't have their shields up.
That was going to be my next question. Are the Romulans looking like they're going to fight? Or they seem to be searching for, or at least they seem to be researching something. So they might not be looking for a fight here. They might just be curious.
No, I think this is going to go badly.
Okay. Davok, do you think you can hack in and basically disarm the Philadelphia's weapons whilst we tell them to stand down and basically data blast them with a "You're in the future, stand down now"?
Well, their technology is older, so it might be difficult.
That's true, but it's a pre-Federation or very early Federation vessel, so they might not. We should be able to get the. I don't know if this was even prefix codes, but we should be able to essentially reliant them.
It is indeed going to be difficult. I can give you that.
I
Okay.
always need to remember what testing a theory does, because I feel like this is a theory.
What does your theory suggest, Mr. Davok?
I don't know.
They're an older ship and you can hack the computer.
This is not a theory. This is an idea. It's a different.
What is a theory if not an idea written down, though, Stu?
So there is an official definition of a theory, but it's all about I'm going to say no. Theory doesn't apply.
That's fair. That's fair.
But oh my goodness, to do this, I am going to need from Davok I'm going to be nice here. A control and science, assisted by the ship with computers and science. No, computers and security. Computers and security.
Nice.
It's difficulty 4.
Okay. I will buy a momentum dice.
Buy a momentum.
And does my focus in computers count?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Star Trek symbol from the ship.
Oh, yes! Okay, I'll roll one. I've got a 13, that just makes it. And a 5, which is just one success, so that's 4.
4 successes, and you believe you have control of the Philadelphia.
Very good. Mr. Davok, disarm Philadelphia's weapons. Do they have their shields up? Or they don't have shielding technology. They have.
No, they have polarized hull.
Polarized hull plating. Have they polarized their hull plating? Obviously, Robins will spot that. But if so, let them keep that up, but just take their weapons offline. Because the polarized hull plating will help in an area of solar anomaly.
Yes, the hull is
would you like me
polarized.
to open the? Would you like me to open the hailing frequency?
If we could reopen communications via our more secretive means, essentially we want the Romulans still to think that this is just drifted out of this anomaly and is essentially drifting towards them. Let's try and disarm this before it goes thermo-solar on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just do that since we've already got the established connection, or do we need to roll on that again, Stu?
No, you'll need to roll again. However, Davok, you are aware that the Romulans are hailing the Philadelphia.
Oh. Zankir, can we listen
in on that?
Can we listen in on that? Oh, yes.
Can we redirect it?
Ooh.
Haven't they dealt with
Redirected
you before?
where?
To us. And
Instead of the
audio
Philadelphia or instead of the Romulans?
Instead of the Philadelphia, from the Romulans to us, audio only.
I think we can speak on there, but yes, I see you thinking there, Doc.
Right.
Maybe have the councillor take the vocals, given they'll have spoken to you already.
Yeah,
Captain.
they already know me. Yes.
Right, there is in
yes.
fact a thing. Intercept on communications. Is a thing.
It's in the rules.
Yeah,
It's in the rules.
Yes.
So
We're not just
this
making
is-
this up as we go along.
That's half the fun of it. So, Zankir, I am going to need either insight or control. Your shout,
Okay.
along with
Either is
engineering,
fine. Okay.
and assisted by communications and security. It is unencrypted, so this is difficulty 1.
Okay. Should I buy momentum for this just in case?
If we can always. If you get an extra success, you just buy it back. So yeah, using momentum to
Yeah.
generate.
So
Keep
we've got, we've got 3 currently, so
Yeah,
I'll just
helps
buy one
out.
of those.
Simple. We'll lose it at the end of the scene.
Is this also under my focus of subspace comms?
Yes, it is.
Well, all right then. That means. So that's control. Oh, sorry, insight plus engineering. So 11. I got 2 successes.
2 success, you get an momentum back. Is anyone rolling for the ship?
Oh, I'll try one.
Communications and security.
We've got a 6.
So that's another momentum back to you. Excellent. So you're up to 4 momentum. Yes, you are accepting the call on behalf of the Philadelphia.
Lovely.
Do you want it on screen?
Can we go on screen but audio only for us? I think we can.
You can.
Now let's have a look at them, but keep it audio only. And Mr. Zankir, if you can take the call.
Of course.
And the screen pops up, and yes, you recognise instantly the commander of the ship that approached you just before Q zapped you away. And the commander says, "Federation ship. This is the IRW. Oh God. This is the IRW Tamal. Commander Mocha in command. Where did you come from? And what is your purpose in the neutral zone?"
This is Captain Durant of the Philadelphia. We appear to have hit some kind of anomaly which has brought us here. We were unaware that we were in the neutral zone.
Where do you think you are?
We were running routine operations through some of our deep space stations. We were mid-warp when suddenly something struck us and we appeared here.
The commander turns off screen, makes a gesture, and the audio cuts out. She's clearly having a conversation with someone off screen, and it's quite heated.
Can we lip read?
No, she's turned away from the screen, unfortunately.
Cover for that.
turns
can we
back
be
and
keeping an eye on what the Philadelphia is doing all this time while we're having this conversation?
that's what Davok will be doing while you're doing this.
Philadelphia is motionless, as indeed Davok still has control. I'm assuming you stopped the ship in its tracks because it was approaching the Warbird.
Yeah, stopped it, turned off the weapons.
Drifting, perhaps gently.
Yeah, just made it look unassuming and unaggressive.
Okay, you turn belly up in a submissive pose. And indeed, yeah, the commander comes back on. Captain Durant, was it?
Yes.
Captain, this may sound a strange question. What year do you think this is?
It's 2158.
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
The commander has another quick conversation with someone off screen. This time she doesn't bother to mute it. She's like, what's that in the Romulan calendar? Is that,
January.
Just before tea time.
Captain, you and your crew have been through a remarkable situation. I believe it is for the best that you and your crew and your ship are guests of the Romulan Empire whilst we ascertain the best way to return you home. And at that, a tractor beam locks on to the Philadelphia. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
No.
Follow it.
Oh,
Woo!
have some grade A winging it right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're all fine here. Everyone's fine on the Philadelphia. How are you?
No, it won't be. Yeah, that won't be necessary. We're fine. Everyone's okay.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. That was a boring conversation anyway. Yes. Fantastic. So well done, Section 31 crew.
Oh,
Well, there's a little bit of everything there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, excellent. Yes, well done, crew. That was some good teamwork. I like that.
Well done.
How's Wraal
what we're
going
gonna
to
do?
live? Yeah, well, you've got now. Did we say? Oh, now, yes, that's a good point. When are we reconvening? When did we say? Because I'm shit at.
I believe we said in January.
But first week back after.
After New Year's, yeah, which I think is the 5th.
Yeah.
So this is the last one of the year. Yes, I wasn't sure if we said this was going to be the last one or quite what we'd said, but yes. Yes, now, really, really, really important for everybody watching. When we return in the new year, we are going to be under the new Twitch channel of hailing_frequencies. So don't miss that. Yeah. Same with YouTube. It's going to be YouTube channel, Hailing Frequencies. The links are all going to be in the Discord. The links are going to be all over the social media. You can drop emails. You can, to request them if you don't see them there. But we're going to be, I'm certainly going to be spreading them around as you do. And of course, Stooge Action will be hosting the Hailing Frequencies anyway, so even if you still come back here, you'll still see it. But if you're not subscribed to Hailing Frequencies, you won't get the notification.
So don't forget that on Hailing Frequencies isn't just the Adventures of Livingstone, but it's also
it's lots of things. Thank you. Yes, it's unboxings and reviews. And lots and lots of Star Trek-y stuff. And probably moving further out from Star Trek as well, there'll probably be some other geeky things. Because we like the geeky thing. Like all the geeky things.
And I don't want to make this as a full promise, just in case. But obviously, I know I saw Ben was a little concerned by the fact that this is a full cliffhanger. That's maybe, and this is obviously the main show returns in January, but we may, schedules permitting, may do something else in the meantime.
That would be very, very nice. Watch this space. Yes, indeed. Very exciting. And I think Jaunty Goblin says it all really. The real cliffhanger is Reggie's love life.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on fanfiction.net for my self-penned /fiction about.
Are you going to read it on your
Reggie.
podcast? You should read it.
I'm just waiting for the fan art.
Yes.
Please entitle it "The Little Ship That Could," because if you're going to be shipping,
oh no, it could be First Contact. Surely it's First Contact.
Yeah.
The Andorian position.
The Jem'Hadar maneuver.
That's the sequel.
Oh, excellent. Well, for those of you that we will see between
50 Shades of Greyish Blue.
I think we have a winner.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to our amazing crew for making this so much fun. If we don't see you before, have a fantastic Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, solstice, holiday period, whatever you want to call it. And of course a very happy new year. But we'll probably be seeing you about in the Discord and on the socials and what have you anyway. So, in the meantime, take care. Oh my God, I've lost my mouse. Where is it? There it is. And we will see you all soon. Eid. Yes, I forgot about Eid. Thank you, Captain Quinn. So, take care and live long and prosper.
Live long.
Bye.
Love.